Breakfast. We know that that's really important. We see on television, we have that little cereal running around that says, you need breakfast. Yes, you need breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day because it gives you the energy that you need to go up, finish that day. And we know that we can think better if we have breakfast. Now, why is that? Again, your meal has to be balanced. You just don't want to have that cereal, toast, juice, and a glass of milk. You want to balance your meal. We talked about that earlier, so you might want to go back and view the film on balance. So we have some breakfast items here. What would you have for breakfast? We've talked about the different cereals whenever we did label reading. So again, you might want to check that out. And we have different milks. We talked about that in our drinks. So if you missed that, you might want to check the milks out or the beverages. And then we have some other foods here. So let's choose a balanced breakfast. What would you have? What did you have this morning? Oh, you had a bagel. Well, let's look at that bagel. A bagel. Now, this is only a half a bagel. But if you had a whole bagel, that would have 60 grams of carbohydrates in it. And we know 60 times 4 is at least 240 because we know there's 4 calories in every gram of carbohydrates. Now, if you add some raisins to this, are your calories and carbs going to increase? You're right, they are. If we put jelly on this, is it going to increase? Yes, it is. So make sure that what you're putting on your bagel that you need to count. You might say, I'm going to put peanut butter on it, which is a protein. And we know you need to have 2 tablespoons of peanut butter to equal 1 ounce of protein. So now we have peanut butter, we have our protein. And you might want to say, well, I'm going to put a banana on it because I like bananas and peanut butter together. A banana, a serving of a banana is only 4 inches. So you always need to make sure you have someone you can share that banana with, okay? So that would be one breakfast. That would be 4 carbohydrates and your protein, and you could have some fruit. And if you liked, you could have some milk with it. That would be a good whole breakfast. Now you might say, I can't have 5 servings, 6 servings of a carbohydrate, which would be 90 grams of carbohydrates for breakfast. If you can't have that many carbs, let's look at another alternative. We have English muffins here. We have hearty grain, triple health, and we have light multigrain. And you might say, well, which one's better? How are we going to find out? How we find out is look at the label. Again, back to that label reading section. So if we look at this, let me tell you, this triple health has 100 calories in it, but has 25 grams of carbohydrates and 6 grams of fiber. You say, oh, that's good. Yes, that is good. But now we have the hearty grain, and you say, well, that must have more fiber. It's a hearty grain. Well, this hearty grain only has 3 grams of fiber. And you come to this little one that says light multigrain, and you think, well, it has to have the least. Well, surprise. The label tells us there's only 100 calories, but there's 8 grams of fiber. So this would be your better choice. And this is only 100 calories, and it only has 15 grams of carbohydrates. We've established the best English muffin that we've looked at today by reading the label. So we're going to build on our breakfast. We could add peanut butter, which would be some protein, to our English muffin. Or if you wanted, you could add an egg. And we know, let me put the yolk back on. We know that if you're watching your cholesterol, you want to try to have without the yolk. This little yolk has about 200 milligrams of cholesterol in. If you didn't want to have a regular egg, you could use the egg substitute. So we put this on our English muffin, and you could put some low-fat cheese on it, and you could have a piece of fruit or a glass of milk, and out the door you go. So it's not a time-consuming breakfast. Now some of the other choices you could have would be the Greek yogurt. The Greek yogurt has 14 grams of protein in. That's like 2 ounces of meat. So you could take the Greek yogurt, and then you could add these raspberries, some milk and ice, and out the door you go again. Now, I eat my English muffin in the car on the way to work because I don't want to get up early with my peanut butter on it. Now, my husband tells me I have enough crumbs in my car that a pigeon could live for a year. So it doesn't mean that you have to have a long, lengthy breakfast. Although if it's weekends and you want to have something special, you could have pancakes, you could have eggs, fruit, whatever you want. Just make sure your breakfast is balanced. And the most important thing is to eat breakfast. Thanks.